All right, we're back. Let's see if this is working one more time. You know, where is my crew? I need a video crew. I need a video crew, right? That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. I do need a video crew. That would be great. Hello, my back on YouTube. I'm just checking. Hey guys, how are you? Nicole Borgie coming at ya. And will I make sure that for the second time this gets rolling? You know what? Where I was at UFOCon in Laughlin. Woo! Took some time off. Not a big gambler, but I went to see the UFOCon, and I met Barbara Lamb. Awesome. She is so amazing. If you don't know who Barbara Lamb is, she works with the star seeds and people who are on this planet, of this planet, and those that are not. And she works with hypnosis. She was, I believe, a psychotherapist. I'm not sure, but I believe so, that she was a psychotherapist. And she, okay, I'm trying to see, why is this not bizarre? She's a psychotherapist, and she kind of regresses people now hypnotically, and she shares with them. I'm not seeing this. Bummer. She shares, you know, she lets them go back to their experiences, maybe post-traumatic stress disorder or whatnot. Those people that are starseeds, those people who are maybe alien. It's always neat to listen to things like that and what other people see in this spiritual awakening and the awakening that we have in the greater consciousness of this earth, and those of us that have come down to that planet with this great knowledge. And the reason that we were shut down from that, she believes, is that we had so much work to do and on this planet, and we had to do it in the third dimension to the fifth dimension and beyond, seventh and above. In order to do that on this earth with other beings and other people, we had to start fresh. We had to understand how the earth worked and be of the earth school and bring our knowledge here. And part of the group discussion that she brought forth, Barbara Lamb, was also many of these beings who haven't been doing anything and being in that servitude. What are you doing right now? What is your servitude? What are you sharing with people? How are you sharing your knowledge, your wisdom, and your opening, right? And your higher energy. Today we're going to talk about the breath, and I'm going to see if I am truly on at all. I'm not seeing it on Facebook or YouTube, my channel. Am I live now? Yes, I am. Okay. I'm live here. Beautiful. And that's 3 minutes ago. Okay. I had to check that out. All right. I'm live here. I might not be live anywhere else. So when it's a one-woman show, you are of and for yourself to be doing all this and making sure that it goes out everywhere that it needs to go out. And a lot of people are saying, hey, you got to just jump on and get to it. Well, if you do that, you're ignoring all of your audiences. And my audience, I want to share so much today about the breath. I want to share about the breath. And today we're talking about breath work and how that affects you on the daily, whether it's your anxiety, whether it's your work, your job, your family, whether it's stress, whether it's anger, and how to bring that back to the breath of life and to control your emotions in the sense that you understand what your emotions are. Not to stop having your emotions, not to stop feeling your emotions. I'm trying to type and do not. It's really about understanding your emotions and what triggers you and what makes you triumphant. If you understand your triggers, you have control. And there is control in your life. I don't mean that control where you've got to hold on and micromanage your life. You're not leading anything. You're not in self-leadership and you're not in self-mastery. What we're going to be speaking of today is the breath of life, to have control of your emotions and to not let them escape you, and realize how they affect other people. What do your emotions have to do with your environment, and what do you bring to the table? Okay, there it is over there at LinkedIn, and it is here today on YouTube. Thank you for your patience, and we're going here, and we're going to share it on Pinterest. The breath of life is so important. I've got many, many notes that I want to share with you. We'll get right into the subject, and it's going to go quick. I don't want to leave you too long. So now that we're on here today, let's share the beauty of what breath is, right? It's the air we breathe. Before I get into that, let me introduce myself. I'm Nicole Borging. I am a self-leadership, self-mastery coach. What is that? Well, self-mastery really deals with the spiritual aspect of the consciousness. Once we have awareness through self-leadership, how we lead ourselves, how we understand our emotions and what triggers us. That's the awareness of the emotional intelligence. What is our clarity? What is our consciousness? Are we in listening to our intuition? Are we trusting how we are being guided through our life? Are we listening to those little synchronicities? Are we watching the synchronicities? Oh, hey, you know, I was at the stoplight and it had the number 88 one day, and I'm like, who has 88 seconds on the stoplight on that little walk sign? Nobody really gets that. That's the life telling me of prosperity and abundance coming my way. And I really needed to listen to that as I was reestablishing myself and coming forward as a self-leadership coach. And they don't want me. Yes, okay, there we go. We're on full tilt. Here we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I am on. I am everywhere. Okay. So what happens is when we understand what triggers us, when we understand what our stresses are, our fears are, we are able to live a loving life because we can establish what those triggers are and move forward. We can recognize them, acknowledge them, and release all that gooky junk, that crap out of our life, and we can find that wisdom within and learn to be a self-leader and lead ourselves with that emotional intelligence, influence ourselves and influence others. And my laptop has shut down again, so I don't know if I'm online or not. I'm just going to keep going with this. I don't know why it keeps rebooting on me today. That's the Frequency Friday. Welcome, welcome. I had a wonderful week, a week of gratitude and a week of celebration. Start my PC. Anyway, anywho, I will share this new video. I'm going to download it and share it wherever I can, right? So let's talk today. How did I come into this? Well, it really started in my life with those triggers, those emotions. I was a hairdresser, right? And I did some hair and I had some fun in life. And then I went from hairdressing into law enforcement. And I needed to have some control of my own life. I needed to have some control of my environment, and I needed to be able to weed through that chaos. That is my gift, is to take that chaos and work with the chaos and triage it, right? Is to take what traumatic areas are and what's the worst and what's the least, how will that little piece of stress or anger in our life, or whatever, that smaller part of life that is almost insignificant at this point, because we have to deal with larger circumstances that are crazy. You know, maybe we're having relationship issues, or maybe we're having issues of emotional intelligence that we need to work through. I absolutely lost everything that I had up here. I had a lot of notes up here, and apparently I don't need them. Really talking about the ethos, right? The ethos, the logos, and the nothing is coming back up. My computer is going crazy. I wanted to talk about the runestone of Anzus, and it was up here. It is the breath of life. You know, I had so many things up here. And I had so many sayings and wonderful things, and I really need to go with that, and because I've had so much to talk about. But let's just move on. We'll just keep going, move on about what the point of the breath of life today. The breath is how we breathe. We breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth. And in those situations, when we're talking about the breath of life, we go from the stress, right? We go from anxiety, and that tightens us up, right? The breath of life. We need air to breathe. However, if we're stressed, we constrict and we hold the breath in, and it has to do with every facet and every function of our life if we're not breathing. When you're stressed or you're angry and you're not able to take that deep breath in, you're constricting and you're stopping your breath. And as you do that, you stress out more because now you can't breathe and your mind can't focus. It's going all over the place. So that breath, our lungs, our heart, and our third eye can't kind of function, right? We get choked up, we get verklempt, right? We get choked up when we can't breathe, we can't speak our truth, or our heart constricts when we're in pain or we're in hate or anger, and it's not allowing the breath and the circulation. Therefore, possibly a heart attack down the road, right? Because you're so stressed out. Or those lungs, you can't breathe in life. You can't be aligned in life. And you can't think. You cannot focus when you're stressed out. You know, when you're in your car, you're driving and you're mad at the other drivers, and you're white knuckling the grip of this steering wheel. What happens with that is when you do that, you're not allowing the breath, and you're not able to just put your shoulders back and sit back and relax and have a good drive, a good travel, a journey down the road. And let's think of that as life. How can we have a better life where we can have breath? And breath allows us, I'm going to shut this window here. It's a beautiful day in Las Vegas. I don't know about you guys, but it was about 70 earlier when I went out for my morning walk. Gorgeous, gorgeous day. Not humid at all, beautiful. But the breath talks about everything in life. We have to have breath to breathe. We have to have breath and oxygen in our blood system to have that oxygen in our blood to get that moving, to get the circulation going. You know, just think of if you're running and it's harder to run, and then you get a tight stomach, or you get stomach pains. You might get a headache if you're not breathing as you're running or doing any type of exercise. When you're constricted, you're not flowing. You're not in your flow. It's not in the meditative state, and you can't function on what you're doing, and then your joints start to hurt, or you just want to pass out because you're not breathing correctly. Let's talk a few things about the breath today. So on Frequency Friday, when we're talking about breath, we're talking about how it allows you to slow down. It allows you to be in that gorgeous state of awareness and listen to your consciousness, listen to your intuition, understanding when that calming that monkey mind. It just really helps to flow. Breathing in. 1, 2, 3, breathing, holding. 1, 2, 3, and out. 1, 2, 3. When you're doing that, that's going to help you relax. And so when we're in a stressful moment, or we're in a moment where we can't think, or we're in a moment where we can't relax, or we've had an area of trauma in our life, taking that counting kind of helps you take concentration off everything else that's going on. We can't always get in that quiet moment of silence, but it'll help you get to that point where you can breathe and just in, hold, out. So you're breathing in good love and light, and you're breathing out, you're releasing some toxins. Sometimes it's just those toxins you need to release, right? You just release those toxins. That's why when you're lifting, and you're in that state of movement at the gym, it just relaxes your body to take in that other weight. The other thing is let's understand more in that anxiety and the constriction. And what I do as a self-leadership coach and a self-mastery coach, in order to come into your self-mastery, in order to come into your beautiful alignment, in order to be on that higher frequency at all times, and recognizing that you need to start with self-leadership, and that's leading and managing your own life. That's understanding your emotional intelligence, what triggers you, and being in that state of awareness. I want to talk about a few things really quick, and then we'll go right into a few tools that can help us find our breath if we are not able to release. We want to go for some tools, and that's why we have tools. You don't always have to have tools. The knowledge, the energy, and the frequency are within that you can bring out with your breath. However, in those moments, we kind of need something that we can rely on. And it, not even just grabbing that tool, but just knowing that it's there sometimes, right? That is the most beautiful thing to do. Here we go. Okay. So when we're talking about the breath, a few things, like here's something that in a spiritual or emotional way, when you're talking about the breath or the breath of life, it's reprogramming your brain, right? Louise Hay talks about that, how to harness your power. When you're harnessing your power, or even that kundalini, and you're getting that kundalini serpentine energy to move up, that's your power. It comes from your root, and it rises up, right, into that sixth chakra, or that third eye, and it goes into your brain, quite simply, right? Analytically, we're just talking about that breath of life. Helps you breathe your brain to move. If you're in any type of brain trauma and you're not getting that air up into your brain throughout your body, that oxygen, that blood flow, you're kind of turning off, and you're in a coma state of mind. It's a good place to start if you're looking to heal any type of dis-ease, uncomfort part of life. It also helps, with the journey, with the movement, just for something fun. Bad breath, and here's a book I also have too. It's Lissy Burbow. And she is great. I've had this book for many years. And even if you just talk about even something as that we never even think of, like bad breath, what does that realize? Is it just indigestion or gum problems? It's an emotional block with your breath deep within your body. It's a tremendous internal pain, hatred, vengeance, or anger. And that comes through that just allowing that to rise. You're trying to send a message of people. It's a desire message coming from a trigger. It's when you're triggered, you want to uncover the spiritual block. And that's how much breath has to do with you. Hey, Ricardo, how are you? And how are you guys doing today? Comment for me what you hear. And today we're talking about the breath of life, just in your lungs, because your lungs where you breathe and you get that deep breath in. If you're constricted, you can't breathe, you can't focus, and you can't be self-aware. You can't listen to your intuition. How can you have faith if you're constricted because your subconscious is going to block everything, even in the lungs and the respiratory organs? It's that breath, and it moves through that blood. It helps all move all the toxins throughout your body, and it means an emotional block. The lungs manage the air within the primary force of life and the desire to live in a quality of life, a high quality of life. Lungs carry the life force to every cell in the body. That's just what we talked about. But if you have lung disorders, it's an underlying sadness, a feeling of being suffocated. Like right when you get, you get verklempt, or your throat gets stuck or constricted and you can't talk. That's the inability to have that breath of life come through your lungs and be able to talk about it. You're getting suffocated, you're getting blocked. It's a discomfort, and you might want to step away from the situation, right? When we're at our end of life, we stop breathing. And so you don't want that. A mental block for that is the lungs play a primary role in the physical body disorder. The lungs are vital and urgent message. The more serious the problem, the more critical the message. Your body is telling you to take a deep breath and to fill your lungs full of life. Begin to experience so that you can uncover different blocks. And that's just a few things to recognize that it's an emotional state. That maybe at the spiritual part of our body, how does that represent us when we're not able to breathe? We're stuck, we're stressed, and you don't want that. You want to release that. And working with many different facets, and you're trying to breathe. You can even bring your hands here to your heart. In, release, out. All right? And that's another way, or if you can't really, you don't have the movement or you don't have the space, just bring your hand to your heart. I'm here, I'm open, I'm ready, guide me. And release, right? Those are just a few things. How can we bring that? How does that represent? One last thing that represents the breath is, oh, no, I lost that. Okay, that's okay. I have my notes here of what I wanted to talk to. It was constricting. You want to be able to breathe. And how can you breathe? And so we talked about breathing in and breathing out, right? Things that can help you increase your frequency. So as a self-leadership coach, as someone that talks about going in from self-leadership to self-mastery, and really talking about that, what I wanted to share with you today is these are a few things, a few nuggets that I give my clients on how to become into that, move into that self-mastery, into the coaching. I have a few spots open, and I'd love to hear from you about that. Come schedule a clarity call. We'll talk more about that in just a minute. What things can help? What can help our breath? Well, lavender is a great oil because it relaxes us, gives us the ability to breathe. Eucalyptus just opens up our lungs. Peppermint, you can put those oils on your hair. Open up the lungs. Peppermint, why does it? It's a warm oil. It's a hotter oil, and it opens you up. It opens your passages, so it opens you up to the breath, and it gives you more stamina and energy by doing that, right? So does coffee. Weird, isn't that funny how that works? Those are a few things that you can use. You can use oils and just breathe them in. What relaxes you? What are the other things that relax you that you have? I teach, a few things. I love using oils. Other people use stones. I'm kind of looking for my stones right here. If you don't have anything, always back to the quartz crystal and just breathe with that, because it is a higher essential oils, crystals. are high, resonating, energetic frequencies that will help boost your energy so you can just breathe with it in your hand or breathe with the oil. Open up. Those are just a few things that you can do to do that. What is the best way? What works for you? Just take a second. And those are the 3 things today. Breathing, using essential oils, using crystals. I always come back to that. What will you do? What it boils down to in self-leadership and self-mastery is, what will you use? Do you need it? Will you use it? We all go through those times when we are grasping so hard to find something to ease our emotional pain, ease our frustration, ease our stress, that we buy all these little trinkets, but do we really know how to utilize them? That's what I teach my clients in self-leadership, how to utilize these tools, the breath of life, exercise, nutrition, how to use that to have a holistic mind, body, and soul connection. And that helps you lead. It helps you in the character, build that character of you, the ethos. What's your character? Sometimes our character can be a little bit hidden. Who do we want to be? What's our truth? How can we bring that out, right? How do we go from fear to freedom or triggered to triumph? How do you bring that courage, the self-awareness, and the intuition? You do that through beginning with self-leadership. So go ahead. I invite you to go to my website or just private message me and let me know that you're interested in a clarity call. You can go to my website and book it. The links are here in Instagram. So I encourage you to go there, book a clarity call, and we will talk about how I can help craft a plan with you on your path to self-leadership and truly your path to self-mastery, being spiritually aligned, awakening, raising your consciousness, your awareness, and being able to function and being able to have ease of life. So go ahead, go to my website. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you. Bye.